that there is a bounty on Donald J. Trump's life, that the bounty comes from a conspiracy, which means that whoever pulls the trigger is not the person that American TV is trying to tell you, that weird people with long hair and glasses who look like they don't even know how to get their own taxes together suddenly climb to the top of buildings and then say, I hate that guy, I will shoot at that guy. I've always told you that your TV is masterclass charade. It is programming for little children. It is where they put the storyline of the moment. If you will remember, when this assassination attempt, whatever it may be, happened, within days, Iran's name had dropped into the story. Right on cue. You can trust American lies to come right on cue like Pop-Tarts. Within mere days, they had stirred Iran into the mix, because why tell 1 or 2 or 3 lies when you can tell 58 and make it a bonanza? So as soon as I saw that Iran story, I just thought to myself, well, we are in the United States. Truth is always the last thing on the menu. There is a bounty on his head. It does come as the result of a conspiracy, but I will also add something else that the Lord gave to me just as I was putting myself together to give this message. That one will be titled Today's Date. It will not be titled June the 29th, 2019. He spoke it now and you will hear it now, and it directly ties into this. So God gave me this vision of an American president who was a sitting president, and people shot him because they were against whatever it is that he was doing. They were against not agreeing with whatever his policy of the day was. And I saw at this time that they intended to kill this man exactly as President Lincoln was killed. President Lincoln died in public. He didn't die in his bed at home with his grandchildren around him. So what he communicated through this statue, through the vision of seeing the statue, is there is nothing new under the sun. They did it to me, didn't they? Meaning that I was shot by conspirators against my life. They have done it before and they will do it again. And indeed, I've said to many people that America is a nation where they kill people in finance, they kill people in business. This is the land where Naboth will die for his vineyard. Naboth will die. If you don't know what that means, go and put Naboth vineyard into Google and she will teach you where that part of the Bible is. Naboth will die in America for his vineyard. If Naboth is so unwise as to create anything that competes with what the government wants, Naboth will die. Naboth will be locked into his study. One of America's most obvious murders I've ever seen was the murder of that young Asian man. I have no idea what that Asian guy created, but he created something, and he was locked in his own study, and the study burned down. It was the only part of the house. How convenient. My goodness, he should have used asbestos in that part of the study, maybe. He should have gone old school. For how could that young man know, only in his 30s, that he would create something that was starting to have buzz, and before you know it, him, his study, his paperwork, his computer, his hard drives, that part of the house burnt down. And my, wasn't that young man's mother bitter, but she could not say anything, because this is America. This is the nation where during 2008 and shortly afterwards, bankers were swan diving off the top of their homes because they all were seized with such sadness over the slump of the economy that for some reason they all decided to jump from very high places at the same time. This is the nation where a very high profile murder was committed in Manhattan, and the storyline for that murder is still hitting the press to this day. The person was, I think, a young tech entrepreneur that had created some kind of financial app that was causing a lot of buzz in one of the biggest country, if not the biggest country in Africa, Nigeria. I think he was a young Indian guy or something like that, and he had created some kind of money app that was really causing waves in Africa, and they were trying to do a cross launch and also use it here. And then lo and behold, he went to one of the fanciest types of places. You know, the types of places that never have brutal murders because there's so many layers of security, like security at the door and a doorman and a very secure type of desk where you have to be able to prove your credentials before you went upstairs. Well, anyhow, somehow, some killers managed to make it all the way up there and chop that person up and put him in a duffel bag. So I guess we don't need to work hard to live in Birkin Towers, because Birkin Towers clearly doesn't offer any security from the US government. Let me give you the controlled opposition flow for a minute. This is a nation that kills. This is a nation of conspirators. This is a nation where you speak too much truth to power, and then you will have an unfortunate accident and just be a byword in the local op-ed portion of the Wall Street Journal if you're lucky, but if not, you'll just end up in the Sun and the Post. A little footnote in Harper's Bazaar. And the people sit in a nation like this and say nonsensical things such as, but if it was true, wouldn't it be on the bought and paid for news that we trust? There is a conspiracy. There is an object of conspiracy, meaning the person that they have their eyes on,